You want to talk about bearing down? Carson Wentz, baby. The stats, they don't look sexy, but I can't be more impressed with Mr. Ginger Jesus at the moment. Jeremy Burton is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. Let's talk Monday Night Football. 29-14 victory for the Birds over the Bears in the Windy City, and I loved every second of it.
Oh, man, you talk about this kid growing up in North Dakota. He's a teenager. You know what he does. You watch Monday Night Football every week. This is what he does. This is like a dream come true for him. And his response, what was it like? I love how he's so calm. He can put all this aside. He's like, yeah, it was fun. I had a great time. He's just the way he goes about. He's got it, man. He's got that it factor that Philly sports have been waiting for. You saw Iverson as a rookie making crossovers and stuff. He could be something special. What we're seeing with Carson Wentz right now, I don't care if it's against the Bears, against Browns. These are two great defensive coordinators that have made their living on hurting young quarterbacks. Horton and the Bears defensive coordinator, can't think of his name right now, but Vic Fangio, yeah. But the way he just has started off this season, it's so exciting. What more can you say? He's just a complete stud muffin.
I need condoms close by because I don't want to leave a mess. I don't want my Burton to be cleaning up after me, so I don't want that shit. But, dude, are you kidding me? So, week 1, he goes up against Ray Horton, a guy that likes to blitz a lot, attack-minded kind of scheme, and brings the pressure from all different angles. He goes 8 for 8 against the blitz. Yesterday, Vic Fangio, guy that likes to disguise defensively a little bit more, disguise the coverages. So what does Wentz do? He was just real smart about everything. He didn't take any chances. He didn't commit a turnover. And I'll let Jeremy describe that nugget that he's got for you guys. But, dude, he was unflappable. He's making audibles at the line of scrimmage again. He's calm. He's composed. He has it. He is the best quarterback in the division. He is the best fucking quarterback in the division. And I'm talking about right now. I know Eli's got 2 Super Bowls, but Carson Wentz is a fucking machine. And people are going to realize it as this season goes on. The Eagles right now, they're right up there at the top of the NFC East. And I'm not fucking kidding. All right, you can go 9-7 and win this motherfucker. So it's a possibility. But, dude, so here's what he does. He just kind of helped the Eagles kind of hang around, didn't make any dumb mistakes. And what did the defense do? They forced 3 turnovers in a matter of, 16 minutes? 2 in the third quarter, 1 early in the fourth? And all of a sudden, all that managing the game that Carson Wentz did, all of a sudden, it helped the Eagles blow this game out. So, what can I say? I love the kid. Best fucking quarterback in the division. I don't care.
You know what Doug Pederson did? Start off the game, first drive, under the lights, Monday Night Football national audience on the road. Spread formation, put it in Carson's hands. And what's he do? He goes 6 for 6, just dink, dunk, moves down the field. This is something you always see the Patriots do with Tom Brady in the first drive of the game. Spread formation, pass. Complete confidence in the kid. And just watching him, I just love watching him. It's just he can do everything right. The incompletions last night, the ones that he had were either dropped, tipped, thrown away as a smart move because there was nothing else there. There wasn't a bad ball thrown or a dumb throw. He made all the smart throws, all the right reads. He could have had another touchdown if Matthews would have caught that. Agholor had a tough one. He dropped in the end zone as well. But he is the first quarterback in NFL history as a rookie to start 2-0 and not commit a turnover. That's fine. Philadelphia Eagles fans, we have a kid to watch for the next, 10 years plus, first time we had a franchise quarterback since the early 2000s when we were teenagers growing up with Donnie Mack. Well, now our kids are going to watch Carson Wentz grow up.
And everybody's going to want some ginger hair dye. That one, that's for sure. All right, so, dude, some other things. Like, he hangs in the pocket, right? He just hangs there. And he waits until the last possible second to deliver the ball. How many times do you see him take a shot last night? Are you kidding me? Those ribs are holding up very strong, that's for sure. So he's taking shots in the pocket. He's just as patient as they come. Like that drive, he went 8 of 9 on that first drive, and it was a field goal. And he's just like he's a maestro out there. He's just think about this for a second. All right, I said this last week, but FCS quarterback, rookie quarterback, doing these things at the line of scrimmage. This is just like unprecedented kind of shit. This is unbelievable. And he's already the ball placement has been superb. Even the chances that he did take yesterday were calculated risks. He threw the one, across his body in the triple coverage, but that ball was a fucking seed, by the way. Like, that ball was unbelievable. He drops it into the bucket to Jordan Matthews. That motherfucker is the biggest tease on this team, by the way. He's been doing great and all, but, man, he just tugs on the heartstrings. He tugs on them when he drops the ball like that. But, dude, what can I say? I am all in on Carson Wentz. And, yes, you guys, you Giants fans, you Cowboys fans, you Redskins fans, you guys can bash me all you want. The Eagles have the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I would say he is because Eli is, 36 at least. He does have 2 rings, but by the time Carson's career ends, I hope he has 3. So fuck you, Eli Manning. One thing I have to knock Carson on, though, is those shots you mentioned. Yeah, he can stand there, and he literally can stand in the pocket. He doesn't care a 300-plus pounder is coming in his face. He'll deliver a dime, a seed on a rope in the middle of the field. He can put the ball anywhere in the field, pressure or not, in his face. But you do got to protect yourself a little bit, learn, shift a little bit like, the greats have done. Like, Peyton isn't a speedster or anything in his day, but what he could do is he could just shimmy a little bit, like shift just slightly in the pocket. Tom Brady does the same thing. And these are things he's got to do. And, yeah, he can bust out of the pocket. There was that non-pass interference call on Nelson Agholor. Carson scrambled out of the pocket and pocket collapsed. He got out, made a little move, pointed. He's like, okay, yep, just throws the 35, 40 yards downfield. It was incomplete. But, that was a good way to keep the play alive. Made a little notion to Nelson, and, the ball was there for him to catch. The play could have been made. Foul should have been called. But and when Carson runs, he took a shot. He's got to learn to slide, man, or get out of bounds. There was one play. I mean, this is our franchise quarterback here we're talking about. We love him so much. We're all in. But if he happens to get hurt, he takes a wrong shot and not sliding there. His knee gets caught up a certain way. Anything. I mean, dude, no. The season's over with Chase Daniel. We got a shot with Carson Wentz. So let's protect him a little bit. I want the first 3 picks in next year's draft to be offensive linemen.
There you go. We'll get into that, by the way, because that was really cool. All those offensive formations we saw, 6, 7 linemen on the field at the same time at some points. Dude, let's move on to Trey Burton.
Yes.
I figured you'd like to talk about him. Dude, so what does Ertz do? First game, what were the stats for Ertz? Like 6 for 64 or something?
6 for 58 and a touchdown. Yeah.
6 for 58 for Zach Ertz. Yesterday, Trey Burton was 5 for 49.
Yeah,
I believe, and a touchdown. So Zach Ertz is injured, and during the week we're like, all right, so how are they going to make up for Ertz's production? Can Trey Burton carry the load? Because Zach Ertz has shown that he can block a little bit better now. And that's not Trey Burton's strength. But what we saw in the preseason, where we were showing some promise and encouraging signs, were when Pederson was lining up Burton all over the field as a wide receiver, in the slot, in the backfield as a halfback. And what did we see yesterday? He lined up everywhere. He hauled in a 4th and 2. He hauled in a 3rd and 7, and he had 5 catches in all. He was a weapon last night. So we're talking about these tight ends and the depth that the Eagles have at tight end. It's so crucial because there's no depth at wide receiver. So once again, Doug Pederson is hiding his deficiencies at wide receiver with Trey Burton last night. Trey fucking Burton was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this kid, my brother from another mother, he was an undrafted rookie free agent in 2014, I believe. I mean, what can you say about this kid? He's versatile. He's quick. He's got hands. I mean, he's not that tall, but, Selleck kind of took the block and roll last night, and then they utilized Burton. I mean, the touchdown was great. It was like a tight end screen. He had blockers. It was perfect. I think it was inside the 5, so he just kind of jumped right in after he caught it. But I was between whether it would be Burton or Sproles that would step up in Ertz's absence, and obviously we saw the way he used Burton last night was awesome, and I can't wait to get myself a Burton jersey.
And this brings us to Doug Pederson right now, because the thing he's doing is he's putting his personnel in the proper positions to succeed, and he's utilizing a plethora of different formations. And the thing that we saw last night, like I referenced a couple minutes ago, was some of these, offensive line sets where he'd use like 6 or 7 offensive linemen on the field at times. And he's playing power football. He's running the ball behind these guys. And, just he brings a lot to the table in terms of, what he can do offensively because of how many different formations and personnel groupings he has. So he's just utilizing the player's strengths. He's building around them, and these formations and these play calls are getting the most out of his players, and it's impressive. I wasn't a big Doug fan when he came in here, and I'm still a little bit skeptical. I the way he speaks sometimes, and he says some dumb shit, but I'll tell you what, there is a football mind in that head of his, and he's pretty smart dude. And some of these things that I've been seeing these first 2 weeks, I did not see in Kansas City.
You know what? You're exactly right. He puts his players in their position to utilize their strengths, something we didn't have the past 3 years with what's-his-face as our head coach. And
that offensive genius.
Oh, shut up. Now, Doug, I was all on board. You guys were all in the Adam Gase wagon. But, I was fine with Doug. I mean, just his track record speaks for itself in the minds he's been around his whole playing career and coaching career. I mean, Shula, Reed, Marino, Favre. I mean, all these guys, players and coaches that he's learned from, and it's showing. I mean, he tracks. He's making up plays as he goes. He got his chart. He's got things circled and highlighted. I was listening to him mic'd up in the Browns game. That was pretty awesome. I mean, he's just. He knows what he's doing. For a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback, it's hard not to be impressed. By all the critics aside, it's hard not to be impressed with what Doug's doing. And I have full confidence in him. And obviously, Jeffrey Lurie did too. That's why I brought him in here. I thought he was the guy from the get-go. All that shenanigans with Coughlin and whatever, making a call to Hugh Jackson. I think it was Doug the whole way. And hopefully this finally gets us what all our fans are starving for, and that's the parade down Broad Street. In a few years, you draft well, build around our boy Carson. With Doug continuing to learn, he's got good offensive minds by his side. Frank Reich, Good defensive coordinator in Schwartz. Made some great turnovers with our D. I mean, all around good football. And, the real measuring stick for both Doug and Carson will be this weekend to see how our offense can keep up with I think the Steelers are the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, they're up there. Them and the Patriots. I like the Patriots a lot, but well, that's just me. So, dude, all right. So here's what's impressive to me, because he's got some balls. He's got like fucking coconuts. So it's not even just the play calling. It's like going back to training camp and keeping Paul Turner over Ruben Randall and Chris Givens. All these fourth downs that he's going for, which is pretty interesting. And, it's something that Bill Belichick does a lot of. Bill Belichick goes for a lot of fourth downs. And I've always agreed with how Bill does it, because, like, if you have a 4th and 2 at the 35, or, like, if you have a 4th and 2 at even the 40, why not just go for it? If you punt the ball, it goes to the end zone, you're only getting, like, 20 yards out of it. So fuck it. Why not just go for it? You have a great defense anyway. I didn't like the 4th and goal call at the 2, though. But, that was just me. If you're up by how many points? You're up by 15. Make it a 3-score game. But so those, I'm really impressed by that. And like, I don't know. I got a good feeling about Doug now. I didn't like him before. He just seemed like a
goober a little bit.
Yeah, he was a goof. He was a little bit of a goof, and he's still a goof. But he's inside that goof's little head. He's got some strategies and some good schematic concepts. So it's working out for the best.
He's getting a little better with his play calling and his press conference.
He's dressing a little bit better too.
Yeah, his press conferences are a little better. I still hear "gosh" every once in a while. Gosh,
that's what gets me every time. I'm like, how can there be a coach in the NFL who says "gosh" like 50% of the time?
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. He, under all that gooberness and the goshes, he's got a big set of brass ones. I mean, the Eagles are 4 for 4 on 4th down conversions now. It seems like we're extending these drives, and I'm like, when I saw the stat that the Eagles are actually 8 for 30 on 3rd down conversions, I'm like, that seems really low. It's because, oh, wait, okay, we missed 3rd down, but we get it on 4th down. That's, if I had to point out a negative stat, it would be and improve a little bit on that 8 for 30. You're not going to convert all these 4th downs. Eventually, you're going to miss one. I'd like us to get a little better, cleaning up those 3rd down conversions. Seems like it's always a struggle. And you can't make those kind of mistakes against a team like the Steelers. You got to convert. You have to extend drives and not let Big Ben and the offense get back out there, because they'll score. They'll put up points on Sunday.
Yeah. We'll get into that in the preview, because like, this is yet another test for Carson Wentz. I mean, yesterday it was going up against a disguising coverage of Vic Fangio. For week 1, it was going up against the attack-minded Ray Horton. Week 3, it's going to be about scoring over 30 points and being able to stay in a shootout with Big Ben and the Steelers. So each week is presenting itself a different test. And, you look at how this team is built. And the way, like, I'm a Chip Kelly guy. I don't hide it. And but like, the way he runs things is not the way this team was built to win the last couple of years. Because this team has a great defense, and when you have a great defense, you don't like to run the ball, every 5 seconds. When you have a great defense, you want it to be well rested, so when you get back on the field, you can force turnovers, force a lot of havoc. And what the Eagles are doing a lot this year, that first drive took like 7.5 minutes off the clock. So what they're doing is they're keeping possession of the ball, they're limiting the possessions of the game, and they're letting the defense go to work. So again, last night, maintaining possession. They didn't make any mistakes. And then once the defense showed up in the third quarter, when they forced those 3 turnovers, that's when the Eagles won the game. So the formula is 100% right now. So slow and methodical, play your defense, you win some football games. Very simple.
Yeah, total opposite of Chip Kelly, which is it's perfect for me. Time of possession. I mean, it is great. I love long drives. Your defense gets rested, and on top of the defense being rested, we have a great rotation on that defensive line. So what Doug Pederson's doing, it perfectly complements our defense and Jim Schwartz's scheme. The way he rotates his defensive linemen. Who's your boy that forced the fumble? Destiny Vayo.
Oh, everybody butchered his name on Twitter.
But great sack fumble there. Jay Cutler looked awful all game, and that's what we played the perfect perfect scheme. We really held them to 7 points. They had that other touchdown on special teams in the fourth quarter just to throw it in there. But I mean, defense was great. Doug Pederson's doing his thing, making great play calls. Carson's Ginger Jesus. Jim Schwartz's defense is working. I mean, it's it, baby. Eagles are 2-0.
I'll say it again. Carson Wentz is the best fucking quarterback in the division. There it is. Just making it there. Making it there. So, dude, I cannot believe how great this defense is already. You're not supposed to be this good this fast when you bring in a new scheme, a new coordinator, new everything. And they're fucking balling. They are unbelievable right now. So they forced how many turnovers in the preseason? I know they had 9 interceptions. So you had 9 interceptions in the preseason. That led the NFL. I was like, fuck, man. Don't waste it all in the preseason. They get 3 more turnovers last night. So they just keep, forcing takeaways. And goddamn, man, if they can keep this up, who the fuck knows? So they're not that many missed assignments out there. So last night, like you said, the defensive line was balling. They took advantage of the trash that Chicago had to tackle, Bobby Massey and Charles Leno. These guys don't belong on a starting fucking these guys aren't starters, basically. They stink. So those guys are out there, and they're – I mean, they were tackling dummies for Brandon Graham, Vinny Curry, and Connor Barwin. These guys were just lighting them up all night. So and that forced a couple of the turnovers. So you had the interception by Bradham. That was forced by pressure in the backfield. You had Curry disrupting the timing of a screen, I believe. I think that's what forced the interception. Okay. You had Curry coming in on a tackle, and that pried the ball loose. That's when Ron Brooks had the fumble. And what was it? And Vayal was the other one. So pressure in the backfield, and it's been consistent, and it's only been with 4.
Yeah, that's what Jim Schwartz likes to do. Attack, attack, attack. With that D-line, rush 4. Graham was all over the field. I saw him making a lot of plays. And, Cox was munching. Benny Logan was in there. Everybody had a piece of the pie. Linebackers got in there. Nigel Bradham had the pick. I saw Stephen Tulloch make a couple good hits. Didn't see much of Michael Kendricks. I think he's going to lose his job pretty soon, and Hicks is going to move to the will and then and have Tulloch in the middle. I wouldn't even be upset with that. And secondary, Malcolm Jenkins and Jalen Mills, I saw, a couple one-on-one tackles missed, but overall, Jalen Mills really held his own against Alshon Jeffrey. Besides the one big play, it was Alshon got behind the defense a little bit. They really held their own. I was impressed for a rookie 7th round pick, getting thrown out there and a starter covering these receivers. Big receivers: Kevin White, Alshon Jeffrey, Eddie Royal, a little slippery guy in the slot. Really held their own. We held their offense to 7 points. Defense was great, and I was a little skeptical. And Jalen Mills showed us a lot in the preseason training camp, but does it translate? He's proven he can he can play with the big boys.
Yeah, he was solid. He got, like you said, he got burned on the stutter and go by Alshon, and he missed a tackle. But other than that, he made a lot of other solid tackles. And again, on third down, so he's tackling people before the sticks. He has the recognition skills to understand where the ball carrier is and where the sticks are. So he's doing a good job in that area, and that's encouraging because I thought Alshon Jeffrey was going to tear us apart last night. He almost did. He had those two huge catches early on, then he was almost a little bit silent after that. So great job on Alshon. Jalen held his own, and I don't think he was maybe as good as a lot of other people are saying. Like people are thinking he was godly. I don't think he was godly. He was solid. He wasn't great. He was solid, and it's encouraging for a 7th round rookie. So if McKelvin's going to keep being out, I'm fine with Mills keep playing. So Mills looks good. Solid.
Solid. Yeah. Well, the key is, to continue to get pressure. That'll help the corners, and then they have the safeties out there who are proven and the keys to our secondary, Jenkins and McLeod, to help where they can with the kid Mills. So overall, it's just great performance. I wasn't really worried about last night, honestly. I thought we would go 2-0, and now here's the next test on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised yesterday either. I had the Eagles winning, so I don't think the Bears are that good of a team, to be honest with you. So the Steelers are the test come Sunday at the link. So all right. Let's talk about Lane Johnson real quick. So it comes out today that he's suspended, but he's going to appeal. But he is going to be allowed to play on Monday or Sunday afternoon against the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, when did this come out? July 30th. So it's been or was it August? Yeah, it was July. It was end of July, early August. It's been almost 2 months with all this shit, and now you're just finding out, okay, he's suspended. Well, at least we have him for the Steelers game. That's important. So basically, it's a second offense. I don't think you have to appeal. Why not? That's set for October 4th. If he misses the 10 games, that puts us him coming back for the last 3. That would be against the Ravens, Giants, and Cowboys. So key division games there at the end of the year are going to be very important. I think definitely need him for those. Maybe he gets it reduced, but I doubt it. Yeah, he's basically looking at losing him for 10 games. And, Barber's going to have to shift to right tackle, and a mixture of Sayamalu and Wisniewski at left guard. And, who knows? What if we have Sayamalu at left guard and Wisniewski slides over to center, because Jason Kelce hasn't really shown me much at all in recent weeks. I mean, that offensive line has been so-so, and this is important to keep our guy Carson upright and healthy. So the offensive line has to step up, and losing Lane Johnson is huge. He's been so good these 2 games, showing what he's worth. So this is going to be a huge blow, these 10 games after the bye week. Kelce, everybody has to step it up.
Yeah, where it's going to hurt is running the ball, because the Eagles did a really good job of running behind Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson the first 2 weeks and gaining some yardage that way. And that's where they're going to miss him. So that combination of Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks, it kind of hurts a little bit. Dude, I don't know why it took a month and a half to get back your B sample. I'm hoping none other B samples were taken from the Eagles, especially Nelson Agholor, because I don't know what the fuck has happened with him since the season has started. He needs to get his B sample tested. What the fuck? Why is he all of a sudden looking like a fucking good receiver? All of a sudden he's a good route runner. He's catching the ball. What the fuck? This isn't the same guy.
Oh, that stripper must have really helped him out a little bit and made him feel extra good.
Oh, he must have done a great job.
He's still, he's still trying to collect himself from that. But no, he does. He looks crisp. I mean, he seems like has a good connection with Carson. He got hit in the end zone on the one drop, kind of at the same time. So, probably a ball he should have come down with. He got two hands on it, but he's looked a hell of a lot better. He's healthy. I mean, for God's sake, this guy was a first round pick. I mean, let's maybe we're starting to finally see it. 2 games in a row, he's been productive. We asked for consistency last week in our show from Nelson, and he was there right behind, right there with Burton and Matthews were our leading receivers. So
again, not great, but solid, and that's all you can ask for him, because he was almost literally the worst wide receiver in the league last year. According to Pro Football Focus, he was. So this guy, he looked like shit during the preseason. He was dropping every other pass. He had a 10% drop rate or something last year, which was just insane. So to see him doing this, I mean, it's encouraging. Again, using that word, encouraging. And, I know he got the ball ripped out that back corner of the end zone there by Tracy Porter, but he's not really strong at the catch point. And you know what? Hey, if he's solid, he's not going to make all great plays. So he was just solid again. So Nelson Agholor, bringing it, at least more than he is. He should be. And, I want to talk about Kelce real quick before we go to final thoughts, because, this is a point I made during the offseason. And, when we signed Wisniewski, I'm like, oh, well, that tells me a little bit about Jason Kelce, because, again, with Kelce, he's 285 pounds. He's going from a finesse scheme as a puller to more of a blocking type of scheme with Doug Pederson. Although I will say that Doug's been implementing some of that chip offense from last year. So Kelce is doing some pulling and utilizing his movement skills, but he's still committing a fucking shitload of penalties, and it's unacceptable. And one of those penalties took away like a 20, 30-yard seam route from Wentz, that throw was fucking unbelievable.
When he took and he got smashed in that hit too. Yeah. He delivered the strike while getting hit, and Kelce, I know he had a holding and a hand to the face, face mask. So
he got smashed like a Kardashian over the weekend.
Kelce. I mean, this is a former, he was arguably, Chip Kelly when McCoy went off in 2013. Kelce was said to be one of the top 10 centers, top 5 in the league. I mean, he was up there, and then he's just now switching scheme. Yeah, like you mentioned, they are doing a little bit of pulling. He had one run to the right. Where I saw him downfield, him and Lane Johnson running down.
I was they were at the 10.
Yeah, it was a nice run from the 20 to the 10 or the 30 to the 10, and yeah, I mean, he's just got to step it up. I don't know if he's got to eat more, put on more weight, or just fixes, come down to the fundamentals. These penalties for a veteran like him, no, that's not cutting it. I mean, these are fundamentals. These are fundamental mistakes. You got to fix it, or else, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got some depth there with Wisniewski. He's played the center position. He should be on the hot seat, Kelce.
Yeah, I said, man, all offseason, if he's still playing like shit after a month, you got to put Wisniewski in there. Is it really a downgrade at this point? If Jason Kelce's still looking like this, this is not the Jason Kelce I know. And it's sickening and it's saddening, because I like him as a player and as a person, and I love listening to his interviews on WIP when I do get to listen to his interviews, and he is very, very honest when he speaks. He doesn't hold anything back. So you root for guys like this, but he's just not bringing it, and if he doesn't bring it, his ass is going to get replaced.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen from Doug is he takes his players and puts them in the best position to make, to be successful. He puts the best guys out there, in all different combinations that he can. He's shown no problem doing that. I see no problem with him making that move. If this after Lane Johnson, starts to miss his games after the bye week, if Kelce continues to struggle with, you don't want to shift offensive linemen too much because there's so much continuity there, and it's important to with offensive linemen and their cohesion. But yeah, if Kelce, keeps playing like this, it's unacceptable. A change would not be a downgrade. You're right. It would be at least. Wisniewski's nothing sexy, but he's a bigger guy. He fits more of this pounding run, strong run game scheme. So why not? If Kelce doesn't improve, put him out there and see what he can do, because you got to put your best players out there on the field.
All right, let's get the final thoughts. Let's get out of here, and then we'll have our NFL recap show right after this. And God damn it, I forgot to plug our website again. TheBitterBirds.com. Go check it out. We have a new website. I meant to do it right in the beginning, but I forgot.
You were so focused on getting that lead right and finding a good lead.
I didn't even have a good lead.
Final thoughts. I don't know what more else I can say, but the Eagles found their guy, Ginger Jesus himself, from North Dakota. Doesn't matter where you're from. He's from a little town in North Dakota. That's fine. Grew up in Raleigh. I think he was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. Moved to Fargo, North Dakota when he was 4 years old, and he's a future of the Eagles franchise. He will get us the Lombardi Trophy in future years. Mark it down.
Mark this down. Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in the division, and the Eagles are the best football team in the division. How about that? Wow. I had no expectations coming into the season. I thought this was a 6-10 team. Wow. This is so fun now. Like we have a chance. This is awesome. We're a great team. We really are. And, good team. Solid team. Not great, but good team. And Carson Wentz looks like the real deal. It's awesome. So for Jeremy Burton, I'm Adrian Fedke. Stay tuned. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to do the recap show with Kyle, recapping all the NFL games. But this was our Eagles recap, what we do best. Jeremy Burton, I'm Adrian Fedke. We're out. And let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of the game. Peace.